What's up, Facebook? Oh my gosh, I haven't done a Facebook Live in literally like 3 years. So if you get on, say hello. And I think I'm gonna just stay on Facebook Live instead of Instagram Live for all these Monday trainings because I have a lot more friends over here. not really, but I have y'all engage more, and I think that this would be a better place to, I don't know, we'll see. I did choose, obviously, to be over here today, and I'm really, really, really excited. A lot of my friends, I know that y'all are on Facebook, so here we are. Here, we're going to talk about nutrition, macros, flexible dieting, and I'm going through, if you didn't know, if you haven't followed me on Instagram, or anywhere, I've been doing Monday trainings as far as, or just Monday trainings, like Monday Q&As. So I've been posting Q&As on my story, and people have been asking. I've been posting my Q&As over in my G4 community. If you have not joined my G4 community and you want to learn about all things macros, training, flexible dieting, competing, lifestyle, mindset, all things that I do, and y'all know all the things that I've been doing for 11 years, go join. It's in my link is in my bio, my G4 community. It's free. All the information you want, I have workouts in there, whole workouts. I'm gonna have workouts for you every day for the rest of your life. It's already in there. Go get it. How to break down your macros. If you didn't see the live last week or 2 weeks ago on YouTube, I got it over there in my community. Go over there and get it. Don't stop you no more. Okay. So I'm gonna talk about it. I'm so excited. And I gotta chill so I can get through this live, right? And just so y'all know, if y'all been here a while, I didn't know what I was doing back in the day, like as far as like business-wise. I still don't know what I'm doing, but I do know how to do two things. I know how to eat and I know how to train, and I know how to build a body with those two combined. So this is a mess. I got my list of questions and we just going off the top of my head. So let's see, what time is it? 5:04. Okay, cool. So we're gonna just dive into it. Really excited. So if you have any questions right now or throughout this live, you can ask in the comments below, and if it doesn't throw me off, I will answer it. If it throws me off, then I'll answer at the end. And then I will be saving this or actually it'll be posted on Facebook, but I will be posting it over in my G4 community with more details of each question on a PDF. So, okay, so number one, again, this is on nutrition, flexible dieting, macros, just overall nutrition part of the journey, right? Okay, and these are common questions, and I get them all the time from my clients. I get them from other women, just either that on social or in real life. So we're just gonna go number one. My app says I have not hit my calories, but I've hit my macros. Do I need to hit all four? So that's a big misconception, and there's a lot of answers to that. But to answer the question, your goal is if you've hit your macros, then you've hit your calories. Because macros, so every gram of protein, every gram of carbs is 4 calories, and every gram of fat is 9 calories. So if you do the math, then you know exactly how many calories that you have eaten based on what you have tracked in your macros that the app says that you have hit, right? The app, for 11 years, y'all been tracking. Still ain't got my Wi-Fi, obviously. Now I'm taking off Wi-Fi, so let's see how that works. Actually, I got a Starlink, so it should be better, but you never know. Okay, so since 2013, I've been tracking food specifically, probably definitely longer than that, but I've never once hit my calories, ever. Just the way that the app configures calories, total calories, they take into consideration things that, to be honest with you don't need to worry about. And so don't focus on 4 numbers. That's the biggest thing. Don't focus on 4 numbers. Literally, if you're tracking macros, just focus on your carbs, fats, and your proteins. That's it. Don't try to hit all 4 calories or all 4 numbers. Just hit your carbs, fats, and proteins. There are times that you could just focus on calories, but don't focus on macros and calories at the same time. That should be fine. That should be enough for you to understand. So if you're tracking macros, just worry about that. Don't even look at calories. I don't even have clients look at calories. I don't even have them look at it. Okay. My app says, question number two. My app says certain foods are not good on their grading scale. What are your thoughts on the grading scale? So this actually came from a friend that I saw in Walmart, or I met her in Walmart. She's a friend of mine on social, and she was scanning the peanut butter, and of course I'm on the peanut butter aisle, and she said that it was a D. And my thoughts is they don't know how to grade. No, don't listen to it. Don't listen to the food grading scale on the app, because it's going to tell you, it gives you clear direction, but you already know the clear direction. It's going to tell you that fried fish is a D, right? But it's not. Everything is good in moderation. And a lot of things I'm probably going to say on this live are cliche, but I just want you to know cliche things are cliche because they have been proven to be true. So if you hear things over and over, stop and listen and bring awareness to the fact that this is just real, right? So there's not a bad food. Whenever I don't look, and I definitely don't have clients look at the grading scale. You don't have to scan in the food. Definitely don't waste your time scanning the food on at Walmart or anything like that. I do in my G4 community have a like 50-page grocery guide with all kind of foods, Oreos, cookies to go, like food to go. I have my how to calculate all kind of different dining out, all the things over there in my G4 community. Go get it. But you don't waste time, don't waste energy like scanning around food. Just go get the food that you want and learn how to eat it balanced. And if you don't know how to, hire somebody to tell you how. It's easy. But so my thoughts on the grading scale is I don't even think about it. And nor do you need to think about it. So, okay. Number 3, can I eat processed foods and still lose weight? What about in prep? Can I get as lean as I want to if I do not, or if I eat processed foods? You can get as lean as you can get eating processed foods, and period. And I say that because 2023, my prep, I ate nothing but canned vegetables. I was on the road the entire prep. So I ate out of the can. I didn't eat any fresh vegetables. To be honest with you, I did eat bell peppers because I just threw in some sweetness. But you can 100% eat processed foods and I got to 8% body fat, or get as lean as you want to eating processed foods. Is there a balance? Yeah, there is. Just like everything's going to require a balance. But what a lot of people get held up on is I don't have time to cook. Great, I don't have time to cook. I never cook. In fact, I cook in the microwave. And in a microwave, you can cook it at a hotel. You can cook it at an Airbnb. You can cook it anywhere you want to because it's easy, right? So that is an excuse people use. And to be honest with you, a lot of the way that I live my life is I just bust excuses all the time, because you can't tell me that you can't. I was living on the road for 3 years, literally, and prep twice, right? So, and in my building season, and never once fell off ever. So all the ways, I'm teaching you all the ways in my community. Go get it. G4 community. Link is in my bio. But yes, you can get as lean as you want to eating processed foods. And if you're not prepping for a show, you definitely can get as lean as you need to get for life, want to get for life, eating processed foods. And so with that, just so I can kind of give you a little bit of make sure that I'm not completely blowing your mind. The more processed foods, the better focus that you need to be on things like water, digestion, just so that your body can process it, literally, so it doesn't get you don't blow up from sodium. As far as hold on to water, just drink more water. That's really the only con of, I'm trying to think, that's really the only con of, and I'm saying con, it's not really a con. I still eat processed food today. I still eat processed food. So yeah, is that it has more sodium because it lasts longer. So I tell my clients, when you're thinking, or when you're trying to think about what you're going to buy at Walmart or the grocery store, the longer a food lasts, the more sodium it contains, or the less calories it has, the more sodium it contains. So just let that be a reference place for you when you're thinking about sodium. And sodium isn't bad. You just need to add it. The more sodium you have. So this is a good example. This is going to probably click with a lot of y'all, especially if you're from Louisiana. But when you take in, when you eat crawfish, and you take in crawfish, so now we have a bunch of sodium. I know y'all know what I'm talking about. A bunch of sodium coming in that's inside our bloodstream, right? Because we're eating it. And the way that the water balance works in your body is there's sodium inside your cells and there's sodium in your blood. So when you eat crawfish and you're taking in more sodium, now it's in your bloodstream. The way that your body rebalances itself is it pulls water from your cells and puts it in your blood. And this is what makes you feel bloated. So to not have that happen, you just take in the same amount of water, that you do extra sodium. So if you take in extra sodium, drink extra water. Definitely don't drink, my neighbors came in a fish. Definitely don't drink beer and expect to not be just bloated. You know what I mean? So, and not be as bloated, not be more bloated. So kind of hopefully you may understand the water sodium balance in your body so that you can just make good choices and it's not a bad thing. And so that's just an extreme example that I know y'all can relate to, the crawfish. But just everyday life, like weight fluctuations, the scale is going to fluctuate, and 99% of the time is just because of this water balance, especially when, well, that's considering that you are tracking your food and you're pretty consistent with your food. So if your weight is fluctuating, check your water, check your sodium, and don't overthink it. Okay, so I answered that question. Yes, you can eat processed foods and get as lean as you want to, whether you prep for life or you prep for competition. Okay, number 4 this is a good one too. Is it better to come up short or go over your macros? This is a 2-part question. What happens if I don't hit my macros exactly? So is it better to come up short or go over your macros? Neither. Both of them have cons to it. That's literally the reason that you track macros. It's not even the flexible dieting and macros is this great, amazing diet that just works for everybody. It's just the science, one, and it just gives your body the only thing that it will respond to, which is consistency. So it's just like a speed limit sign. Like if everybody goes 45 miles an hour, let's just say, or under, then there's no wrecks, right? The consistency of that. If people go over that, then there's going to be wrecks. So kind of, it's the same exact thing. Like the only reason that you track macros is to give your body consistency. So if you come over here and you track macros and you are yo-yoing your calories, you're going to get the same results as if you weren't tracking macros and just yo-yoing your calories, right? So think of tracking macros and flexible dieting as set points that allow you to easily be consistent. Hey, everybody, easily be consistent with your intake. If you think of it that way, I feel like it would be you would have less resistance because you would understand that it's not about certain macros. Like literally, you could literally pull 3 numbers out of your butt just to think about. Like I'm just going to hit 60 grams of fat and 140 grams of carbs and 140 grams of protein, and that can be based on whatever knowledge you have. And if you're just consistent with that, you're going to see progress. Like it's literally that important to the body when it comes to anything. To feel good, you have to be consistent. To look good, you have to be consistent. To think good, you have to be consistent. So don't overthink it. So is it better to come up short or go over macros? So coming up, both of them, coming up short is going to literally tell your body your cortisol goes up, right? Your stress. So body, when it comes to the body and stress, it don't matter if you are getting run over by a groundhog or a tiger, or if your boss is on your butt about work, or you have financial struggles, or you under eating. It don't matter. It doesn't know the difference. All it sees is that you are stressed. So that's why mental health is so important, right? That's why breath work and like being able to calm your mind is to be able to just control yourself so that your body doesn't see whatever stressor is out there. It doesn't see it. So does that make sense? So that should help. And then also, I'm kind of getting, hopefully not too far off, but even workouts, that's a stressor. So I talk about, I am documenting my diary of a fit model over in my G4 community. And I talk about added stress and how workouts and keeping my steps under a certain amount is important because I don't want to add that much more stress to my body because then it's not gonna allow me to lose body fat. So to come up short is to short your body energy, which of course that makes sense. Then Why would you have energy if you don't give your body that energy? So it's coming up short is a stressor. And then going over your macros is also a stressor, because now your body has to digest this amount of food, and it doesn't want to. It doesn't want to digest it, not that amount. So there are pros and cons, or there are cons to both of them, and they're pretty much the same con. Both of them increase cortisol, under eating and overeating. So there's not a better answer, a better way. The best way is to be as consistent as possible. But if you're in the position to go over a macro to hit a macro, let's just say this happens a lot, I'd rather you go over than short yourself, only because my thoughts, and this goes back to have that outcome-based goal, is I don't want to short myself tomorrow energy, right? I don't want to feel like death. I want to feel good tomorrow. I want to have strength tomorrow in the gym. I want to be able to live life tomorrow. So I'm going to just go ahead and be a little over. That's going to be more beneficial than coming up short, because then you're going to short everything else for the next probably 1 to 2 days, right? So does that make sense? Okay, so is it better to come up short or go over? So like I said, I would rather you go over a little bit. And these are little bitty numbers, right? That you're going over. I'm not saying if you're going over 50 grams of carbs, then that's not, you didn't have a good plan, right? You didn't have a plan, period. If you're going over, if you're trying to hit your protein, let's just say, and you go over 5-10 grams of carbs or fats, like, it's not that big of a deal. Keep going, right? But don't short yourself energy just so that you don't feel tired the next day and short yourself energy the next day. That's also going to cause digestive issues, both of them, high and low. So as consistent as you can be is going to just keep everything, all your system, your body, as systematic as possible. What happens if I don't hit what happens if I don't hit my macros exact? Nothing happens. You just keep going. You go back to your macros, you do better the next day. And I'll put this out first. This is a contingency plan. This is not something that I talk to every client about. Definitely at first. Over time, I will give them this strategy, or in the right time. But some people will overuse this, and then they're gonna confuse themselves, and then they're gonna give up because they're so confused they forgot where they even are. But what you can do, again, end of the day, what you can do is, if you go over, let's say, 50 grams of carbs, for whatever reason, it don't matter the reason, you can short yourself 50 grams of carbs over the next 2, 3, 4 days. You don't want to short yourself 50 grams of carbs the next day. Why? Because the next day after that is going to suck. Because your energy, you didn't give your body energy, don't expect it to have energy. So breaking it up that way, when you do go over and pulling back, coming up short over the next couple of days to hit the weekly numbers that we want to hit, that would be what you could do if you go over. Does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense. Well, actually, I know it makes sense. So that's a good answer. Okay. And so again, don't abuse that. Don't abuse it, because then you just get confused. And I've seen it. That's why I'm saying that. I've seen it with clients. That just confuses them even more. How many do I have? How many days do I need to spread this out? But just don't do that. Just be as consistent as possible. And then if you go over, spread it out. Use it. Utilize that tool once, twice, Don't abuse it. Okay, keep it on going. Number 5, do I need to train or do cardio fasted to lose body weight quicker, lose body fat quicker? No, training or cardio fasted does not automatically mean faster fat loss. There's no science behind that. As far as that is 100% a personal preference. So some people would say that the science supports it, but it does not. Not for everybody. Like, every now and then there'll be somebody who can, maybe, depending on their metabolism and their genetics, maybe they could literally 0.1% more body fat if they do it fasted. If they train or do cardio fasted, 0.5% faster. So that's 100% a personal preference. I personally don't do anything I barely talk fasted. Definitely don't do anything fasted. I don't have any clients, I'm trying to think, I don't have any clients I've ever had do fasted anything. It's just, it's not necessary, so don't overthink that. A lot of people, when it comes to fasting even, just think about this, kind of the same concept with the weekly calories, right? When you go over, you spread them out and you hit your weekly calories. Same thing goes with a day. If you are eating, let's just say 1,800 calories, and you eat them over a 12-hour period or over a 5-hour period, 5-hour period would be people that fast for most of the day, which again, that's going to be a personal preference. But you're eating the same amount of food. If you're eating 1,800 calories, you're eating 1,800 calories. If over a week's time you're eating 30,000 calories, then, and that kind of goes into carb cycling, the question about carb cycling, same thing. If you're eating 30,000 calories that a week, and that's what puts you in a metabolic deficit, then how you spread that out, it really ultimately doesn't matter, to be honest with you. It just depends on how you want your energy to be dispersed, right? For me, I want consistent energy. I don't want to have high, I don't want to be here at all. Mentally, physically, emotionally, I want to be as consistent as possible with every part of my life, energy, sleep. I don't want anything to be inconsistent. So to do that, I have to give it consistent amounts of energy. Does it make sense? So let me see, make sure, because all these questions kind of do blend together. Okay, so yeah, I was talking about fasted. So if you're eating fasted, 1,800 calories is 1,800 calories. So again, personal preference. Don't let a lot of these questions, and I'm going to put these over in my G4 community. A lot of the answers are just don't overthink it. It's all personal preference, but it really doesn't matter. This one being one. Do I train or do cardio fasted to burn body fat quicker? No, you do not. If you like training cardio or doing cardio fasted, then you're going to continue to do that. If you don't, and I tell you that you need to, you're not going to, not long enough to sustain whatever you're trying to achieve, right? So that's what another part that comes down to it is you got to like it. I don't like anything fasted. So if I had to do fasted cardio to achieve whatever look I'm going for, then I'm probably not going to achieve that look, right? Not for 11 years. So I just do things that are sustainable, things that I like. So hopefully that makes sense. And I do know a lot of people that train fasted and do cardio fasted, and that's great. They like it, perfect. And it could be so simple as I like the way it makes me feel. I like feeling skinny, perfect, good. Keep doing it. Whatever keeping you doing it is all I want you to do. But it's not necessary. That's the biggest thing with these Monday trainings have been. I just trying to bust myths. Sorry, so that you can make a clearer decision on what's important and what's not important. Okay, number 6. Do I need to stop eating at a certain time to lose more body fat? Again, goes back to that personal preference. So no, the answer is no, you do not have to stop eating at a certain time. I eat dessert every night in my bed. I pretty much eat at least, I would say 1/4, well, probably like 1/4 of my total calories, no matter what my calorie intake is, from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. every day, because that's just what I do. That's just how I have small meals throughout the day, and then at night I have a very high volume meal, and then I have dessert, and I eat dessert in bed every single night. So the only thing that's going to do is so if you eat, let's just say you eat more food in the later part of your day and you go to bed, you don't gain body fat overnight, but what happens is you have not digested food in the same amount of time as you would if you were to have not done that. If you cut your food off at 5:30, like my parents, they're going to have more time to digest food before 6 a.m. tomorrow than I'm going to have when I eat at 9:30 at night. It makes sense, right? So the scale, again, that's got big fluctuation of the scale. So if my girls, the way that I do our daily tracker is we track your weight and we track all the variables of fat loss, and it's very easy to see why your weight fluctuates. If I could teach you why your weight fluctuates, you can control it, 1, and 2, you cannot be so mentally messed up with the scale, right? So when they have late meals, They just make a note, and that they make it makes sense. The data makes sense. It will always make sense. So no, you do not need to stop eating at a certain time. It does not help you lose more weight. It might help you feel skinnier. It might help the scale go down. Keep doing that if that makes you feel good. But know that you can come home and you can eat dinner or dessert after the sun sets, or in your bed. Okay. Carb cycling. You need a carb cycle to lose fat. This is a big one because, like, that's the way to fat loss. They say that you need a carb cycle. There's a lot of programs that say you need a carb cycle and you don't. It's not necessary. It's definitely only complicates things, right? I've never carb cycled. The only times that and I take that back because I have, but here's when. The only times I have ever carb cycled is when my macros, my food was so high that my digestion needed help digesting the food. Like on rest days, I wasn't moving as much, but I'm eating 4,000 calories. That makes sense, right? So if I pull back a little bit, and here's the thing, let's just say I was eating 40,000 calories a week, right? Going back to that weekly number that you want to hit. If I could have not carb cycled and brought my calories down to a lower, more manageable level that my digestion could continuously digest over 7 days, I could have done that. Or I could have carb cycled and lowered my carbs on rest days because when we do this, it's because training intensity and load is just heavy. And so we're trying to push heavy weight on these, definitely lower body days, upper body days too, but definitely lower body days. So the only time that I've ever carb cycled is when my digestion needed help, and or my food was so low. And even for me, definitely my food's never gotten below 1900, even in prep. But to my body, that's still low, right? So when my food gets low and my energy levels drop, we will carb cycle to literally just give my body energy to push past that and get to the goal that we're trying to get to, right? So you don't need a carb cycle. 99% of you will never need a carb cycle. Like it's just not necessary. I'm like a very big advocate on simplify, because simplifying you can continue to do. If I give you the bare minimum, teach you the bare minimum knowledge to achieve the most results, you can do that for the rest of your life, right? But if I make it hard, if I teach you things that are not necessary, if I say you cannot eat processed food, if I say you have to wake up and do fasted cardio every day for the rest of your life, you're not going to. I wouldn't either. So carb cycling only complicates things. You do not need to do it unless you are eating so much that your digestion needs the help, or your energy is so low, and this is a metabolic thing, not just your energy low because you're not sleeping good or you're not, resting and recovering, or your diet's all over the place. That's not what I'm talking about. If you are in line with all these other variables that allow you to have energy and you're still low, that would be when carb cycling, and not even a carb cycle, like a high carb day, should help your energy levels. But you do not need it to lose more fat. Okay. Number 8, should I eat the same macros every day or adjust for calories burned during workouts? Okay. No, nothing should be adjusted at all unless your coach adjusts it, unless you know the adjustment. So no, you do not need to eat back the calories. And even like when people ask me that, I'm like, are you not thinking right now? If you're especially when you're trying to lose weight, if you're trying to lose weight and you go and you burn off 500 calories doing cardio or doing your workout, whatever you're doing, why would you eat it back? That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't even make a logical sense, right? So definitely no, like nothing needs to be connected. Your food app does not need to be connected to anything. Definitely not your smartwatch or whatever watch you got. You only hit the same macros every day. You don't adjust unless you know the adjustment the day before. Like, that is a planned, intentional adjustment. So no to that. And make sure that your food app and your watch is not synced, because a lot of times they will sync and you don't know it, and it'll adjust and you don't even know it. All you're doing is going off of data. All you're doing is trying to hit these macros that it's saying, because if you plug in your macros and it says, you got 5 more fats, 10 more carbs, 15 more proteins, you'll be so in autopilot, that's what you'll go off of, but you won't even realize that they've adjusted. Just make sure that it's not connected. Make sure your watch and your or your phone and your food tracking app, whatever app you use, is not connected. please. And just hit the same amount of macros every day. That's the number one thing I want you to take away from this video. Okay, number 9. I'm trying to add more fiber, I'm trying to add more volume foods to fill me up, so I'm less hungry, but it makes me feel bloated all day. So this is another really big, especially just in the bikini world for sure, but just in women in general. They think, a salad at lunch is best. Well, here's how it works. If you fill up your stomach with the salad with volume, because anything that fills you up that has fiber is volume food. And when your stomach fills up with volume, what happens naturally is your body secretes hormones that make you feel tired. That's why when you feel full, you feel tired. So if you work with how the body is made, when you're thinking about food and the meals, and don't overthink this, but just know this. This is exactly why I eat a volume meal at night, is because I'm about to go to bed. So if I can put the volume in, and then my body says, hey, secretes hormones that are, hey, she's tired. And then I'm feeling tired, I'm full and I'm tired. And then look, it's time to go to bed, right? But if you do this at lunch, but then you got to go back to work, you're going to be tired. And then what? Then you're not going to probably go get your workout, and then you're not going to go do your cardio. Then you're going to be a not good employee or whatever you do, right? So work with the body. Learn that type of thing about the body. Learn how the circadian rhythm works, how just your body works. If you learn how your body works, it's like magic. You just do what you're supposed to do, what's so easy for you to do. And it's so simple. And it's not hard. I promise you, it's not hard. So her problem, though, was she was hungry. And that's another... So are you mentally hungry or are you physically hungry? And this is how you easily decipher. If you are physically hungry, you will eat a can of sardines. Okay. If you are mentally hungry, you will not eat a can of sardines. So that's just an easy way that I have clients decipher. Is it mental hunger or physical hunger? Because that's very black and white. If you'll eat a can of sardines, then girl, go get you a can of sardines and eat it. But 99% of the time, that ain't what you want. So it is a craving and it is a mental hunger. So but that doesn't help that's just the reality and the truth. That doesn't help you feel less hungry. And so she was adding volume to feel less hungry, which is, and really, with that question, it's kind of, I don't know where her calories are. So if she's eating 1,200 calories, then it makes sense as to why you're hungry, because your body's hungry and everybody would be hungry, right? But if she's eating, and so I've had clients eating 2,000 calories, complaining that they're hungry, and saying that even the ones that say that, and that's normal. It's normal. Hunger is a hormone, and hunger, if you're not getting hunger signals, that is not good. And so if you're getting hunger signals, that's a great sign metabolically and hormonally that your body is working like it's supposed to, and it's signaling you to eat. But if you want to lose weight, then we cannot give in to that, right? So that's a balance of wants and needs, really, but just whenever I explain it to clients, because I teach them how to listen to the body, I teach them about how the science, all the things. And so we have to figure out how to, or each one of them has to figure out how to be logical and honest with themselves when they are hungry, when it is hunger, and based on their goals, right? Because when you're hungry, it's like your body is working. This is a good thing. So I'm going to eat. I'm going to honor my body. I'm going to listen to my body, right? But if you don't recognize one, how often that happens, but two, if it's real hunger, that's how you become overweight. So, and if you want to lose weight, we can't give into those hunger signals every single time, right? At the same time, it is a sign metabolically that maybe we need to increase food. So in a reverse, that's a sign. It's a great sign to possibly increase food. So hunger is a great thing. Not being hungry is not a great thing. Take that away from this live as well. Know that volume during the day is definitely why, what I was saying earlier, a lot of bikini girls, a lot of women in general, they just fill up on volume food all day long. They eat less calories, more volume, less calories, more volume. And you can have too much fiber and be constipated. So a lot of constant bloat, people that constantly are bloated, this is going to be a huge, look at your food. How much volume are you eating? Not just how much fiber are you eating? Because even like lettuce, there's not a lot of fiber in lettuce, but it's a lot of volume. It's a lot of water in lettuce, being held in lettuce. Vegetables, same thing. There might be obviously there's fiber in vegetables, but some vegetables don't have as much fiber, but it has more volume. Carries more water, right? So that's what's making you feel bloated. So it might not be that you have digestive issues. It might just be the foods that you're choosing to eat. So look at that. If you have digestive issues, look at that. And no, volume is not better. Like more is not better. There is a cap. That again, you can have too much fiber and be constipated, and you can have too little fiber and be constipated. Both of them, you want to find your window. Fiber window is what I call it. Okay, and then the last question is should I track vegetables and low calorie foods? And this is another one that's just, I'm like, well, of course, like, why would you not, right? And this is where it gets complicated. If you make the decision to not track vegetables and not track low calorie food, that's where it gets complicated, because then you're like, it's endless. If you just track everything for what it is, then there's only one outcome of that, the results, right? Of whatever it is. So if you track a pizza, then the results are the outcome of eating the pizza, right? So it is what it is. Let it be what it is. Don't overthink it. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't try and I'm like, why would you not? This was when the little girl asked me, so do I track vegetables? My question was, why would you not? Because you want to cheat your way around eating more? I'm not sure. Why would you not? If you're eating it and you want to make progress physically, then we need to track what you are eating. It don't matter how many, it don't matter. So the answer to that question, should I track vegetables and low calorie foods? Yes. Why would you not? That's it. Again, always I'm going to go back to the simplest way, right? If I know that I just track everything, then I don't have to remember what I track and what I don't. I don't have to worry about no net carbs. I don't have to worry about remembering anything. Ultimately, my life goal is to not have to remember anything. If I have I have my two coaches tell me exactly what I need to do every day. I make as much as I can automate it. I make as much as I can delegate it. And I eliminate the things that are unnecessary. This could be knowledge. This could be actions, like tasks. The only thing I have to think about is my clients and doing the same thing for them so that they don't have to think. That's the ultimate goal, right? That we don't have to think or overthink. So let that be just a red flag. If you have to think too much about anything, really, that means you are unclear on what you're trying to even do, to be honest with you. So get clear on what you're trying to do so that you can make clear on what you need to do to get there, and you clear your mind to not have to overthink and not have to really think at all, so that you can make progress. And this again goes to everything, right? Like literally you can apply it to everything. If you had to think about, let's just say this is just a financial example. If I had to think about how much money I have in my savings account or my checking account, or every time I use my debit card, I probably would never purchase anything, and that would waste so much time. So instead, what I do, and this is what I personally do, is I put it on my credit card, so I don't have to think at all. I just put it on there. Obviously, I make good decisions. I don't just spend money. That's the only thought. Is this a good decision or not? And with that, you have to be realistic with yourself. And I just did a podcast on this, on money mindset. So for me, I know that I don't buy stupid stuff. I know I don't spend money where I don't need to spend it. So that answer is, yeah, as long as that's for me, that's the answer. Put it on the Capital One. That way I only have to think about how much money is in my checking account once a month when I pay my credit card off. That's it, right? So that's how you want to simplify every part of life so that you can continue to be happy, one, make progress, two, and sustain whatever it is that you're trying to do. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to go into detail, or I'm going to have a detailed description on this PDF. Hey, Mandy. Hey, everybody. In my G4 community. So the questions, rewatch this. I'm going to post this. I'll be posted here, obviously. And then I will post it over there with the details and just more information about each one of the questions. The biggest takeaway, if you just reiterating, driving it home, is simplify, simplify, simplify. If you have to, sorry, that was my time limit. If you have to think too hard or about anything in life, definitely nutrition, then know that there's something unclear and you need to clear it up so that you can get where you're going without thought, without thinking, without overthinking for sure. So join my G4 community. It's a free space. You can come over there and learn. Obviously, one-on-one coaching, applications in my bio, flexible dieting, macros, all the things. And yeah, so I'll be back here, most likely Facebook Live on next Monday. Most likely talking about I had a lot of nutrition questions, but I am going to put a box up tomorrow for nutrition questions. You can put them below here. You can answer it in the box. You can DM me. I've just been collecting them. So yeah, super excited. I'm really excited that I got on Facebook, and I'm so just living the dream, answering. Wait. Okay, I'm going to go off because it keeps kicking me off. So in my bio, all the links that you need. I'll see y'all next Monday.